Hello everyone, this is Dr. Nelly once again. Today I'm going to the Essential Herbal Garden to show you different herbs that are good for our health and for medication for most of the diseases. I'm now in Essential Herbal Garden, introducing to you this plant which we call Kalal. This only grows in cold countries. Unfortunately, we don't have this in the Philippines. This plant, this herb, can be used for itchiness, for sunburn, and for all other skin diseases. Remember, my friends, this is Kalal. This is what we call the tiger lily. It's the same family as the Kalal. This is also the same function as the Kalal. So, and it's beautiful. You can use it for decor, for decoration at home, because it's beautiful. Have a look at this. This is Mr. Al. He owns this essential garden, and right now we are going around, and he will introduce to us different herbs. This essential garden, it is about 10 acres. So here, Brother Al, I call him brother because I'm a Christian. So he will introduce himself to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Al. We bought this land 23 years ago and it was covered in a noxious weed called gorse. So we spent an awful lot of time clearing the gorse and planning out the gardens and the studio. So we run a series of workshops here. One is a herbal skincare workshop where we take people through the medicinal properties of various plants and herbs, and then we take them down to our gardens and get them to pick the leaves, smell the leaves. We teach them how to extract the goodness out of various herbs and plants using alcohol, water, steam distillation and so on. Then we get them to create their own fragrance with a room freshener. So they select their essential oils and drip them into the mixture, and they have their own sweet smelling room freshener. Then we teach them how to make some natural insect repellents, and that's using the essential oils of eucalyptus, lemongrass, tea tree and citronella. And that's a natural insect repellent which is extremely effective. Then we break for lunch, and then we come back and we get them to make a moisturising cream, again using all natural ingredients. And one very popular cream is an anti-itch cream, and that's where if you get bitten by a mosquito or stung by a wasp or something like that, you put the cream on and it takes the itching away. And the main plant that we use for that is plantain, Plantago major. It grows like a weed here, but it's very effective at taking away the itch of insect bites and stings.
And our friend here will introduce to us every herb that we can find.
So this is Grizzinia. It's a native to New Zealand, and it grows into a tree much the same as this, but if you trim it and clip it, it stays nice and flat. So it needs to be trimmed about 2 or 3 times a year, and you have lovely hedges. It's a very hardy plant, so as long as the roots are covered, if the roots get exposed, it will die. But if one dies, you can just pull it out, plant a new one, and within a year you've got a hedge. This was dead probably 2 years ago. We split the garden into 4 quadrants. This one here has hops in the right season growing up on the pergola. There's a Mediterranean garden in here, and chives, some lavender, and we've got some clipped hedges as well.
I think this is a tea.
A mint pelargonium, so you have a smell that
Oh my gosh,
it's lovely,
beautiful smell.
and such a smooth leaf too. Yeah.
Look, it can make me beautiful as well. And I will try to, how do you call this? So that you will have peach and cream complexion like me.
It's Pelargonium. It's a very soft leaf, but it has a beautiful fragrance. If you're making a pot of tea, you probably only need about half a leaf because it's very strong, but it's a nice minty taste to the tea. Gloves. Digitalis.
Oh, for the heart.
Yes, for the heart.
Okay, I'll go around. This is what you call the fox glove. This is very potent for heart diseases. But you have to be very aware that you cannot just take it anytime. So what we'll do here is you pick the leaves, boil it in the process of decoction, and take about 2 tablespoonfuls every 3 hours. Just be very careful because it has also a side effect. It can make your pulse beat faster. So you need a herbalist or a naturopath like me to be able to make use of this herb.
So this is pizza thyme. Very good for chopping up and putting onto a pizza. We also use thyme along with sage. So sage and thyme, when you start to get a cold, you feel that sore throat when you swallow. If you mix up some sage and thyme with boiling water and drink the tea, 99 times out of 100 your cold will disappear. It won't develop into a full-blown cold.
I can mix this with my Herbal tonic together with the onions, garlic, the turmeric, so that it will be more potent. But I don't know if we have this in the Philippines.
This one here, the water is pumped by the sun.
Wow.
So we have a solar panel, and when the sun shines, the water works. So at night time it shuts down. So if you put it like that, no water. Put it like that in the sun, you get water.
And this is the lavender plant. It has a beautiful aroma, sweet aroma. And this is rosemary. This is also one of the best herbs. And Brother Al here I would like to request him to describe these plants, these herbs.
So lavender, of course, is a very fragrant plant. You can use this as a craft. If you have the English lavender, this is the French lavender. When you have the English lavender, they have a longer stalk, and you can wrap some tape around the outside, and you can get a lavender wand that you can hang in your wardrobe in the car, just to get that fragrance of the lavender coming through. We also use the hops and the lavender along with rose petals to make sleep pillows, because hops are a natural sedative along with lavender, and rose petals give it that fragrance. You put them into a little pillow, put them under your pillow at night, and it helps you to sleep. If you have problems sleeping, the hops, the lavender and the rose petals work as a great sedative.
Wow.
Now, at this time of the year, we don't have a lot of flowers out. So we plant rosemary so that the bees can come and get some pollen. We have beehives on our property, so the bees come and get the pollen from these flowers, and makes honey for us. Now, of course, rosemary is known as the memory herb. All right?
Wow.
It has oil on the leaves, and as soon as you smell it, you can instantly smell the rosemary from the oil. If you are studying and you have an exam coming up, the idea is to get some rosemary and smell it and inhale that oil, and that will help the connective neurons in your brain, and it'll help you to remember things that you've studied before you have your test. So inside the cage here we have a tree which is Camellia sinensis. That is where green tea and black tea is made from.
Oh my God.
This is how the green tea and black tea is made. The difference between the two is merely in the process, but it comes from the same tree. Now we have to put the cages on because we have a pest in New Zealand called the opossum. It's a nocturnal, about the size of a cat, and it eats 70 million tonnes of native bush every night.
Oh my gosh.
So if we left this off, this would be stripped within 24 hours.
They eat so fast.
So this is geranium. Again, we plant, it's not necessarily a herb, but its flower attracts the bees to pollinate all the other plants that we have. And this is called Blue Bayou.
This is so...
About 10 years ago, I was asked to clear one of the paddocks further up the road. And this whole area was settled by Bohemians in the 1800s. Now, they used to use hand-split totara logs as their fence posts. Now, totara is that tree there. And that one, that's a totara. It's a native to New Zealand, and it's a very hard wood. So when I was clearing this block, I found a whole stand of these hand-split totara logs split by the early settlers. So I made it into a spiral using the same wood. And so we've got rosemary, some chives, we've got calamint, some pizza thyme, oregano. This is a white sage, which is slightly different to the normal sage, but still has the same medicinal properties. Some geranium, and that is a nasturtium. So nasturtium, yeah. They're all edible flowers. And calamint down the bottom there. And we also run a workshop called Softstone Sculpting, and that's where we mix up concrete, sand, water, and an ingredient called vermiculite. Vermiculite is a water retention agent, and that slows down the curing of the cement, allowing you to carve it before it hardens to cement. Now, this is an example of one that I did about 15 years ago, and it's a sculpture with a piece of my wife's art in there. This is a ceramic that has been added into the piece, and we've mounted it on a piece of wood. So everyone who comes to the workshop gets to sculpt their own design, and we have run about 300 of these workshops over the last 10 years, and we've never been busier. It seems to be a very popular process at the moment. So that's the art of sculpting softstone sculpture at the Essential Garden. So this is a native to New Zealand. It's a flax The correct name is harakiki, and it was a very popular plant to the early Maori. They used to use it for a lot of the fibre that the flax has. So they would use it for clothing, bags, and so on. It also has medicinal properties where it can heal internal intestinal problems. So by smashing up the plant and boiling it and then drinking it, you can get...
it's amazing.
It is. Amazing. Look over there, we have a harakiki with a flower just growing, and it's just popping out the flower. It attracts our native tui to the flower. You can get a close-up of that a little later on. And the tui absolutely love the flower. When they land on it, they bury their tongues in to get the sweet nectar, and the pollen sits on their forehead. So you often see a tui, a black bird, with a red spot on its forehead. That's where it has got into the flax flower, sucked out the nectar and got the pollen in its forehead, takes it to the next tree and propagates it.